And
What's happening, everybody?
What's up?
How's everybody doing?
hello there.
We're good, bro. How are you?
Everybody got their drinks for tonight? What do you got?
Cheers.
I'm boring. I'm sweet tea tonight.
Sweet tea. Why are you sweet teaing it tonight?
I gotta drive an hour and go get my son.
Oh, I understand. Well, that's probably the best thing to do, right? You
It's
don't
not
need to be-
everything.
everybody having a good week?
Yes.
Having a great week.
What are you laughing about?
I said kids ruin everything, and my daughter heard me upstairs and goes, rude.
I got
Love
it.
you.
I understand. So let's talk about it real quick. We've had a exciting week, right? We got a lot of things done with the future of the concept company / organization / whatever we decide it to be. Once again, Michelle, she's come through in a pinch, and we got the contract signed, so we're good. Everybody keeps jumping around and moving off the stage, so we're all over the place. So, Deucey, what's the update? Is anybody bowling tonight? Are you watching bowl TV? What's going on?
I'm watching. Come on, man. If it's on bowl TV, I'm watching. Of course, I'm watching. These guys are average. Packy averaged 251 the first set. They're freaking. They bowled 300s in the last game of the first qualifying set. They're just killing it, man. David Smalls is putting out a shot out there. These guys are killing it. The best in the world are smashing stuff.
Wow.
Even old man Ronnie's kicking ass.
How about our boy?
He's doing all right.
Man, last game he only shot 212s, and that's like a 160 right now.
Yeah, because the guys are shooting 260, 270s. There was one pair that they were the lowest guy on the pair was a 268.
Really?
Yeah.
Ronnie's at plus 203 and not in the cut.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, EJ's averaging 246 leading right now.
EJ's number one right now. Yep. Are you watching as well, Michelle?
What's that?
Are you watching as well?
As much as I possibly can, yeah.
So before we get to bringing the main man of the main man to the main stage, how's everybody liking the graphics? Are you looking across the bottom? Look at that.
I do like it. We need to put some more stuff down there.
Am I not a damn genius or what?
You are not a damn genius. I can verify.
Okay. Well, since we got everything the way we're gonna do it now, and the boss lady she's gonna do all the introductions. So we're gonna let the prettiest person of Dog Tags Bowling, the lady herself, introduce our special guest tonight.
Are you ready, Chris?
I am ready. Yes.
When I say Chris, he's the prettiest one, right?
Chris is.
Oh boy.
There you go.
Oh,
Not me. You might need a few of these. Good.
I will go on record so that Ronnie Russell doesn't come to me. Ronnie Russell needs to go to this cat. Okay.
All right. Without further ado, we are so happy and so glad to have us join tonight, or have joined us tonight, Jason Couch.
What's happening, everyone?
Look at
Hey,
that.
welcome.
Jason Couch. Look at the
Welcome to
banner.
the show.
Wow.
Hey, he's ready for the truck.
Yes.
We're already going to the truck, Jason.
Sounds good to me, fellas.
All right. So Jason, thanks for coming on and chatting with us, man. We certainly do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule.
Not a problem, fellas.
So the first question I want to ask was sent to me. How in the world did you ever get tangled up with Ronnie Russell?
Well, apparently I lost a bet or something. But,
yeah, that's what I said too.
I got to know Ronnie my last few years bowling on the tour on a regular basis, and we seemed to hit it off pretty well. And we just kind of, you get in certain groups out there where you guys like to do the same things. And I think me and Ronnie have been known to have a beer or two at a time. So, we love to talk about what's going on in our lives. And so we just kind of started hanging out together and had other guys with us. And it's been a blast. It's been a long ride so far, but it's been good.
Wow. You couldn't ask for better company with Ronnie Russell, right?
Well, I met Ducey in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate it.
Well, you and I were talking. I met you at Junior Gold back in Indianapolis, I think when Sarah bowled in like 2017 or something. That's the first time I'd met you. And you had
Stop aging me.
Okay, I'm not going to say like I normally say. I remember coming home and watching this guy on TV. I'm not going to say that.
Absolutely.
So jump in here now. These other guys, you have these other natural born killers here. They're not like me and Deuce. You have to entice them to talk a little bit. So
I think Jason and Jason met while we were at Indy.
Yeah,
we did for a few
Yes, sir.
seconds.
Yeah. So, what is your thoughts? And here's a question just came through. What are your thoughts on the new or the way the PBA Tour is now versus when you bowled 20, 23 years ago or whatever?
Well, it hasn't been that long ago, but I quit full time in 2011. But so I guess it's been 13 years. I've seen all sides of it. Honestly, after this season, they're going to go back to an exempt tour. We had that back in the early 2000s. To go to an all exempt tour and then have a qualifier every week is not real easy to get in there. And don't have a bad year. I mean, if you have a bad year, you're on the outside looking in, because honestly, anything you've done prior to that just doesn't really count anymore from how I've looked at it with the rules. So you better have a good season this season and get yourself in that top 46.
Right.
Having said that, we've also had the years where there was qualifiers, but there was only so many spots per week out of that PTQ, and all the touring guys were on tour full time. I remember there being 300-400 entries at like the Masters or the US Open, and then a regular event would have 150 entries. So I've seen both sides of it. I don't care for either way in particular. I just go to the format they tell me to bowl each week and try and deal with it. Do I excel in match play? I do. But, if it's a total pins thing too, you got to learn to deal with it. It's not like you're driving the same race course every week. If you're a NASCAR driver, you're doing something different every single week. So,
right.
It's all part of the sport.
Right. Absolutely.
I'll ask the question. How's the team look this year?
My PBA league team?
Yes.
Work in progress is the good way to put it at this point. We're starting to gain some traction. The boys went 1-1 last night.
Right.
We're currently sitting in the 6th spot, which will get us to Portland.
Right.
I don't really care for being in the 6th spot. I'd like to be coasting into Portland, maybe 1st, 2nd, 3rd spot. But every team's great out there, and trying to go 2-0 every single week. I mean, it's a tall task. We're certainly trying. I think we're gelling a little bit better each week. And, if you ask me my opinion on the teams, I feel like I have the strongest team by far. They just haven't got it going yet.
Now,
Right.
Jason, are you gonna try and travel as much with these guys, or are you gonna kind of let them do their stuff and just show up every now and then?
Well, so we're required as managers to be at the televised live events on Fox. And then I saw you guys in Indy. I left there, went to Chicago. Didn't have to, but I went and I managed them there. And then my next spot I'll be at the World Series of Bowling in Detroit. It's basically our hometown. We're the Motown Muscle, so I think I need to represent there. And I'm trying to decide. It's kind of tough scheduling right now, but the last qualifying event is at the Tournament of Champions in Akron, Ohio. And my tournament starts the same day for the first senior event. So I've got to make a decision to either do the senior tournament or go to the last round of qualifying.
Yeah, that was one of my questions down the road, is that you're going to be out on the PBA 50 this year. You're going to compete in that this season.
That is correct. I'll try and bowl as many of the events as I can.
Awesome. Cool.
You're too young to be on the PBA 50 tour.
Yeah, well, my body doesn't feel like it.
Well, I'll be 58 this year, and I don't know how you do it on the PBA 50 tour.
Man, it's crazy. I don't honestly think that Tom Clark realized until we actually had a tournament committee at the end of the year last year, and I looked at Tom and I said, "Do you realize how many games we bowl out here?" And he's like, "Probably not as many as the regular tour." And I said, "No, sir, we bowl more." And he looked at the hard look at that, and he said, "Yeah, that's got to change." Yeah. And I said, "Yeah, we're in our 50s, man, and some guys are 60s and 70s, and 48 games in 1 week. That's a little much for the seniors, but we love it. I mean, it's still very competitive. All the guys that I had to bowl against on the regular tour are now out on the senior tour. It's murderer's row out there, man. There's no gimmies out there."
What do you think about PDW coming to the senior tour full time?
Well, now that he's not going to bowl the regular tour, I guess he'll focus more on that. I saw the television show Sunday with him talking about it. I'm going to give him a text here before too long and say, the golf courses are going to be green as soon as the winter's over. You go ahead and stay on the golf course, my man.
Exactly.
We have what we call super fans that jump on here. So here's your one right here. This is the lady that you met in Indy, and she had the brownies.
Oh, man, I'm telling you what, talk about gaining weight just looking at those things. My gosh, man. They were fantastic. So I'm much appreciated. Oh, Dino probably ate 5 or 6 of them things. He was 10 pounds heavier that week.
And the super fans understand we've always talked about, and I've encouraged you to take part in a good old Southern tradition, and that's going to the truck, right? So
yes, sir.
One of the shirts that we're going to have made up is going to be called "Trip to the Truck." Okay.
Okay.
It's what made me famous, I guess. I don't know. But
he gets his namesake.
Yeah.
Harry Moonshine.
You see it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the super fans, they've already took a trip to the truck. So there's no telling what they're going to be posting on here. But before they got too toasted up, they have a question for you. It says, is having a total exempt tour better than having it totally open to everyone?
Well, that's a really good question. I think they need to figure out how to have a happy medium. I think there needs to be more than 5 spots that come out of that PTQ, but I also don't feel like every tour event should be wide open. That's how those guys earn their spots. It's by bowling every week, earning the points to bowl every spot as a PBA member. There's open events out there, with the Masters. I believe that number was at 500 entries this year. It's in Vegas, so they can accommodate a lot of entries. There should be some weeks that are members only, and that's part of being a PBA member. We pay a dues every month. There should be specific events just for the PBA members. One thing I really don't ever want to do is I don't want to shut out a guy that's got multiple titles.
Right.
If they want to put a certain thing in there where once you win a title, you have a 5-year window to enter any event you want, or a 10-year, whatever that number is, they can come up with, but never shut out a guy that has had success on the tour.
Right.
Yeah, they actually did do that. Ronnie and Tom had a talk last week. So I guess this exempt tour is only for 4 tournaments. And there's a certain number that are exempt. There's so many that come out of the PTQ. But if you're not exempt, if you've won a title in the last 10 years, you can still pay your way in. So say Ronnie doesn't make it exempt, he will still get to pay his way into those events.
Yeah, it makes more sense that way, because it would be unfair to have a regional guy that is the tournament's going to be at a house he bowls all the time, and he could just sit and wait and say, I'm going to join this one, but he didn't have to travel for the last 3 weeks to go do all the other stuff. So I think you need to be a touring pro to get into that stuff.
Right. I mean, I agree. You know, it's like you and I talked about before, and the rest of us. This is what these guys do for a living.
This is their
right?
job.
This is a job. Yeah, and you don't need to handicap someone who has dedicated their life and their time for their sport, their craft, however you want to talk about it. You know, because this is how these guys take care of these families.
Absolutely.
With the team member, the unit member that we have with us now. You know, these people just don't understand it. These guys, this is what they do.
Exactly.
You gotta love to do it. You gotta love
work.
to do it. I mean, it's like Jason has talked about. Jason just traveled all over the world, right? Of course, he did it representing the brand, but he did it because he loved the sport, right, Jason?
Absolutely right. And, you know, like you said earlier, Ducey, is that, man, I mean, a kid wants to wait to bowl just his one event. Well, the other guys, they're shelling out, I'm going to rough guess it, at $1,200 to $1,500 a week to live out there with the food, the hotel, the entry, the travel. So it's expensive, you know, and guys put, you know, a lot of time into it. I got home Monday or Friday. And this past Monday, I started training, and we don't start till April, you know, and that's just for the senior tour. If it was the regular tour where I was, you know, competing full time, I would have started probably in November or even October for those events, you know. So it's not like that I'm just sitting home doing nothing until the tour starts. You got to train, you got to practice, you know, you have to have your arsenal in shape, you got to have the bowling balls ready to go. You know, it's a lot of behind the scenes things that people don't see.
100%. And like I said, it's a whole lot more pressure when you're out there on tour and say, hey, man, I got to win some money to put food on the table. Where this other guy's got a full-time job, he's just going to come bowl this 1 week. That's a completely different aspect. So I think it needs to be touring pros, do the PTQ, get the guys that have a national staff out there, call it good, and, you know, obviously get some guys that are regional that can come through the PTQ. But I agree with that 46 player roster.
You got another super fan on here.
Oh,
Jerry
Mars.
Jason Couch is my hero.
Jerry Mars.
My man Jerry. I haven't seen Jerry in quite a while. He's a great bowler on his own, man. Good to hear from him. I hope he's doing well.
Jerry's doing well. Jerry bowls. I bowl with Jerry many, many times. Jerry's up here in Chicagoland. So yeah, I've known Jerry for probably 10 years. He's a good dude.
So next question was sent to me. Favorite place that you've ever bowled in, favorite country you've ever bowled in, favorite tournament you've ever bowled in.
I can tell you what his favorite tournament is.
Obviously, three answers, and
right, three different answers. Right, one question.
So the first one was favorite bowling center to bowl in.
Yes, favorite bowling center.
You guys were in it a couple of weeks ago. Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis.
Right.
I won 2 out of 3 years there, and I've probably got out of 23 years bowling there. I bet you I have at least 12 top 10s.
Nice.
I mean, I absolutely used to shred that place to pieces back in the day, and it's just always been a good spot in my heart. And in fact, I had gotten to be so comfortable there. The one of the late owners, Don Mitchell, I would stay at his house. I didn't have to stay at a hotel. I mean, the guy would put me up and go to dinner with him every night. Just had an absolute blast. So I really felt more at home there than most places. And I'll tell you guys, if you feel at home and you're comfortable, I mean, that swing gets loose and anything can happen at that point. So that would be answer number one. Favorite country to bowl in would probably be Japan, only because over there the PBA members are about the same level as a Major League Baseball player.
Yep.
And it's just a hoot to walk down the street and see people part like the Red Sea because they think that you're on a higher level than them. And I'm like, no, I still put my pants on the same way as you guys, So, but it's standing room only over there. It's a blast to bowl over there. And I love representing my country. I bleed red, white, and blue. So anytime I can represent the United States at anything, Japan Cup, Weber Cup, anything like that, I'm in anytime. So Japan's the second answer. And the third one was, what was the question again?
Favorite tournament.
Favorite tournament. Well, I would be a knucklehead if I didn't say the Tournament of Champions, since I've won it 3 years in a row. The thing about that tournament that made it so unique, the 3 years I won, 3 different bowling centers, 3 different formats, So one was an arena style setting at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut.
Right.
One was in Chicago, and then the first one that I won was in Kansas City. So just got to be. You're lucky to win one. I mean, to win three is just a gift.
Yep, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I
got a question.
Go ahead.
Who was your biggest competition when you were out on tour? Who was the guy that you said, "Hey, man, this is the guy I gotta beat"? Who was that when you were bowling?
There were so many guys on the top of their game at the time. If you had a Parker Bone the third, Walter Ray Williams was at the peak of his time. Brian Voss, if anybody remembers Brian Voss, Norm Duke, everybody's at the top of their game at this point, and I'm missing guys. I know I am, and Pete was at his heyday. If you were asking me the question another way, Deuce, is if it's who's the biggest pain in my ass, would have been would have easily been Pete. He'd probably say the same thing. It didn't matter if it was a 1-game pinfall. It didn't matter if it was 3 games or 7 games, best of 7. We always went to the 10th frame, or we rolled off. We could never separate each other, and we drive each other crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
What is if you got some memories of the old Taylor Lanes in Michigan?
I do actually. I bowled a lot of years there. Made a couple of telecasts in that building. Never won in that building. But one of my close friends that bowled the tour, Dave Wadka, he had one title on tour, and it was in that building. And I guess he had been on about, I would say, 6 TV appearances before that show. And we're at the hotel, and it's about 2 hours before the show. And he's like, "Are you going to get dressed to come with me?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "You haven't won shit since I've been going to that TV show." So I said, "I'm going to sit in this room. I'm going to drink beer, and I'm going to watch the TV." And he says, "Well, what happens if I win? Will you be there?" I said, "If you have got that match locked up, I will be there before they hand you that trophy, man." And I'm telling you, he got down to and he shut it. I think he shut him out in the 9th, or maybe even even got late as the 10th. But I'm telling you, I couldn't believe I didn't get a speeding ticket. I hauled butt to that damn TV show just to make sure I was there. And we had a hell of a night that night, boy. But it was just awesome because, at that point, you knew you got into the Tournament of Champions. And to say that I got to bowl the Tournament of Champions one year with a kid that I met at 16 years old, pretty good accomplishment.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. Now, Jason, when you first got on tour, who was your ball company, and who did you use then? Who signed you?
I'll tell you what, guys, it's one for the record books, man. I've been one of the most loyal guys on the PBA tour. I bowled my 92 season, Rookie of the Year. I bowled with everything that basically I had in my bag, which would have been a few different companies that were out there. And at the end of the season, I got 3 different contracts from companies. And long story short, I went and visited all 3 of their head offices and their warehouses, and where where they make the bowling balls. And I got to the 3rd one in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, with Ebonite. And I walked in, and the lady that ran the front desk to the head office stood up to me, and she said, "You're Jason Couch. You threw our bowling ball on TV. Thank you for that." I came in by myself. She shouldn't have known who I was. And
Right.
I said, "Well, it's a pleasure to meet you." And she said, "My name's Judy Garrity. I've been at this company 23 years. I'm going to be here till I retire." And they took me through that facility. It was first class. And this is my 32nd year with Ebonite International, with the brands of Ebonite and Brunswick.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just been top notch. The only other guy that's got a longer tenure with any company is Parker. And Parker's at the brands of Brunswick. He's Brunswick. I'm Ebonite. Parker started about 5 years before me on tour, and he's been with them his whole career too. We're the longest tenured guys on tour.
That's awesome.
Here, you may want to explain this one from your friend. Didn't like Deer Park and Lake Zurich?
I did like Deer Park and Lake Zurich. That was my second TSC title. And Jerry would tell he was probably there, and he'd tell you the year before was probably one of the highest scoring Tournament of Champions we ever bowled. And we went to Lake Zurich the next year, and it was probably one of the lowest scoring tournaments we've ever bowled.
Really?
And it was unbelievable. And I led both years, and got on that TV show. I bet you could probably see Jerry in that telecast somewhere behind me. But they said to me, "What's it going to take to win today?" And I said, 10 clean frames. Give me 10 clean frames. I'm a winner. And I bowled 10 clean frames against Ryan Schaefer and beat him.
One of the best, I guess, statements that I've ever heard you say was when we was in Indy and you were doing the league and you was telling Parker that you was going to beat the old man. I love that trash talk. I think we need to have more of that.
If you only knew what was going on in our room, we roomed together for 15 years.
That was actually going to be one of my questions. Who was your PBA Tour roommate?
Well, I got to get rid of them every once in a while because they drive you nuts like a woman. So,
now, hey.
So, geez, man, I'm telling you, I got a long list as long as I've been out there. But Parker was the longest out there. I had Dave Wadka. I roomed with the knucklehead Ronnie Russell a little bit, Tommy Smallwood. I mean, all the guys, you guys would know most of them. Doug Kent, that's no longer out there, but was a fantastic bowler.
Big, tall guy, yep.
Bald-headed guy. Go ahead, Deuce. You can say it. He knows he's bald. But yeah, I roomed with a lot of great guys. And listen, if you don't have good guys around you, or if you're like an introvert where you don't really get around people or don't feel comfortable around them, you're going to be in trouble because there's going to be a lot of lonely nights in the room. I mean, we all know any sport we play, man, if you get frustrated, you got to vent. And, and me and Parker had the golden rule. You could vent till that rental car left the parking lot. After that, shut up and buy lunch.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
Exactly.
We got a lot of people tuning in that are actually on their way to Anderson. So there's our buddy
Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah, he
Johnny's
works our
wide
show
open
tonight for us because all of our staff is over there.
Exactly. Here you go. Here's another one from Jerry. Hold the program with you and Parker.
Oh yeah, I knew he would have been there. I mean, he was diehard, man. And then he bowled for a few years out there, and but yeah, man, we've had some good times together. He's a great guy.
Hell, I need to text him. I should ask him. Hell, if you're going to be this actually on the webcast, you should have just been here next to me. You could sat right here and chatted with us.
Hey, listen, we have gotten so much better now that we can have more than just 6. We can have 10.
Oh my!
He could have been on the show with us.
I'm going to have to get a bigger screen.
For fancy.
Exactly.
Well, I've got a question for you guys.
Okay.
Is it time to go to the truck?
Let these two guys down here answer something.
The
they are not saying anything.
It's time to go to the truck.
Let's go to the truck.
I've been going to the truck. I don't know where the hell y'all are at. I've been to the truck like 6 times.
I'm the DD tonight. Sorry, guys.
Well, Deuce is drinking wine. Might as well be a DD.
That's right.
Well, this is Jack. This is Jack and Coke in my nice Bolero cup that I got in Wisconsin. The liquor was $7. The cup was $23. So I walked out with a $30 drink. So I utilized my cup when we have together.
You know that they got to pay those pro bowlers, so you keep buying those drinks.
Hey, we will gladly buy those drinks to pay those pro bowlers. We don't care about
that. Exactly.
I want them here every time. But you guys don't earn enough money. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make y'all some more money.
Exactly. We're trying to promote the sport. Here's a gentleman that jumped on, Mr. Three-Peat. That's your buddy.
This is another buddy of mine, a guy from Chicagoland. Greg's a great bowler. He bowls everything. So he was jacked up when I put it on Facebook that you were going to be here. He's like, dude, that's going to be cool. So yeah, Greg's a good dude.
I'll tell you guys, I've been around this country, been to a lot of bowling areas. And I would have to say that up at the very top, man, you get the Chicagoland area, you get the Wisconsin area, and you get Detroit, man. You don't get much better than bowling around those areas, man. They're top notch.
Well, it's because winter's 9 months long. You got to stay inside.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to go there because I was a little cold today, fellas. It only got to 65 down here.
Hey, we got to 55 today, and I took my jacket off.
We got to the 50s too up here.
Yeah.
Well, they don't like me, Jace, because Saturday or Sunday, Ronnie
Saturday,
Michelle.
we were in the damn blizzard. trying not to die, and you're sending
Right.
us pictures of all the sunshine.
Yeah. So he was sending me the pictures. She says this blizzard up here and all this kind of stuff. It was Friday, right? Friday.
You may
I think it was.
no, yeah, it was Friday.
And she said, this is our current situation. And I mean, it's just snow blowing everywhere. So I take a picture of me driving down the interstate with the sun shining. And she said it was really cold here. I think it was like 68 here in North Alabama. So
I'm sure
then-
Jason does it to Ronnie too, because Ronnie wants to move to Florida so bad he can't stand it.
Now, Jason,
Ronnie always,
Jason's
Where
down
are
there
you
and
in
his friend
Florida?
Sanford.
yeah.
I live in Claremont, Florida. I'm about 20 minutes west of downtown Orlando.
okay.
You can't get any more central than me. If from my house, I'm 61 miles to the beach. Either way, east or west.
Okay.
Okay, so let's throw another one out there. I get a lot of people. Favorite Randy Peterson story.
Well, I'd say about the first 35 I can't repeat.
I was gonna say the one that you could put
I
out
don't know
there.
one I can repeat either.
Yeah.
Me and Deucey's got one.
You know,
I'll tell you. I'll give you guys a good one. So, oh gosh, this is probably 10, 12 years ago. We have one bowling center in Claremont, boys. It's a big place too. It's 12 lanes. So, my buddy Steve owns the place, and he had got it from his father, and Steve knew nothing about bowling. So, me and my dad got him up to speed on how to run a center. Well, he had a Wednesday night league, still runs to this day. Men's league, it's handicapped, but it's a men's league, and it's full all the time. So one year we got Randy bowling on one team, and we got myself bowling on one team. And of course, we'd go play golf in the afternoon, have a couple of beers. Then we'd go to the bowling center, have a couple of beers. And then by the second game, the Johns started, I'll take you for 100 this game, got you for 100 this game. So Randy gets up, and he's 2 pair over from me, and Steve's pair, the owner, is right in between us. And the match is close. Randy gets up in the 8th frame, and he 8-10s in the pocket. He just comes back shaking his head. And I said, what's the matter? I said, are you upset? And he goes, it's an 8-10, bro, in the pocket. And I just said, I guess it wasn't a good one. And he just threw his shot, mad, sat down, gets up, throws a strike. Now I've got a lead on him. He gets up on that lane again, and he 8-10s again. And I'm telling you, he blew a gasket. I mean, his head like the popped off. And he looks over at my buddy Steve, and I told you he don't know nothing about bowling. He knows who we are, but he doesn't know anything about bowling. And Randy goes, could you fix the racks in this place? I've 8-10 twice. And my buddy Steve just takes a sip of his whiskey and goes, maybe you should throw it better. Telling a PBA Hall of Famer, maybe you should throw it better. And I'm telling you, I never seen Randy grab his bags and run out of there so mad in his life. So every time I see him, I always say, hey, Steve from Claremont Lane says hi. And he goes,
Was it, Deucey, 3 years ago, right?
Yep.
3 years ago, we were in Indy. We stayed at the hotel where the PBA staff was staying. So Deucey and I are going, I don't know, there's like what, 2 foot of snow. I don't know.
It was bad. They had a blizzard.
It was
in
bad.
Minneapolis.
Yeah.
It
Is
was
that the
January.
year Stu? Was it Stu and them that got stuck in the? Not Stu. It was somebody else. A bunch of the overseas guys got stuck in the snow like a mile down the road.
Right.
Absolutely.
And what was bad is Ronnie and I were in the truck when we seen them on the way. Didn't realize who it was, and he was like, "Damn, that must suck." And then we found out later it was Polar.
I drove down to Indianapolis. There's trucks everywhere in the ditch coming down I-65. I'm like, oh my God. So I got down there. So we get out there and it's 2 feet of snow, colder than a well digger's ass in the Klondike. It's cold.
Right.
We come out and there's Randy Peterson sitting outside in flip-flops and a shorts and a t-shirt having a cigarette. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He goes, I had to get a cigarette.
We
Great.
were getting Deucey's. We were going somewhere, and was it Deucey's?
We're going to
vehicle.
breakfast.
We're going to breakfast. And Deucey said, look at this cat down here in shorts and flip-flops and a t-shirt with his legs hanging out of the hatch of the SUV.
We had to do a double take, and then we found out it was Randy.
Yeah, he said, you think we need to go check on this guy and see if he's okay? So we walked down there. Dude said, damn, it's Randy Peterson.
It doesn't surprise me.
I'm like, dude, put on some clothes, bro. out here.
Yeah, they said, "Hey, are you okay?" He said, I just had to have a cigarette. I'm waiting on Rob Stone to come pick me up.
Unreal.
Unreal. So I got a question for you, Jason.
Oh,
When you started bowling and you got out on the PBA tour and you were kicking butt and taking names, did you ever get to the point where you're like, I got this, I'm in?
I mean, obviously, I was fortunate to win Rookie of the Year. The next year, I had another good year, and then the third year, man, the bottom fell out. So I probably got a little arrogant after the first 2 years, and I mean, it was a horrible year. I mean, it was just, you don't even want to remember those years.
Mhm.
That probably scarred me pretty good, and when you get out there and you feel like you're bowling your absolute best and you're still not winning, you learn how good everybody really is out there, and you have to continue to keep grinding and practicing and get yourself absolutely perfect, as perfect as you can be. And I never wanted to live that year again in my life. So I was always one of the hardest workers. I was fortunate. I've got one of the best training centers in the world, 50 miles south of me, a Kegel Training Center. And those guys, ever since I was 15 years old, have let me in the door anytime I wanted to and let me practice for free. They would put patterns out for me so I could educate myself on how to bowl on patterns. And without those guys, I wouldn't be where I was today. So, yeah, I probably got a little cocky with a chip on my shoulder after 2 years, and the third year kicked me right in the rear end, and I knew that I needed to get back at it.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people that do professional sports for a living, and they 100% say they learn way more from the losses than they do from the wins. So that's a thing you have to go through. Doesn't matter what profession you're in, whether it be pro bowling, whether it be pro sports, whether it be in sales, you learn more from the losses than you do the wins.
They hurt a lot more,
They do.
and you
Absolutely.
remember those. Funny story. A couple of weeks ago, one of my buddies sent me a picture from one of the TV shows, and I could normally rattle it off. Hey, that was 99 at this place here, and I was stumped, and I'm like, send me the link. I don't remember this TV show, right? And it ended up being Albany, New York, and I'm like, I don't remember bowling on this TV show. I just beat the best in the world, finished in the top 5, and I don't remember that week. But I damn sure can tell you where the weeks I didn't cash, because those hurt. I mean, they really hurt.
Right.
They're painful, and if you don't learn from that, you're going to get stuck, and you're not going to get any better.
Let's get caught up on some of these real quick. Let's see.
I'm gonna put my glasses back on, damn it.
Let's see. Here you go. There's a good one. Would like to see FS1 carry the PBA 50 Tour.
I agree with Lloyd. We've talked to Tom Clark about maybe just televising our majors, and the way we've talked to him about it is if just come to a pro-am on the PBA 50 Tour, and check it out. I know that by Ducey we'll be up, we'll be in Hammond this year. So that's a stone's throw for you. Come up and look at the pro-am. Every guy on every pair is a Hall of Famer.
Correct.
It's all the people that, we had fans back in the 90s and the 2000s, all the people they watched on TV on Saturdays, and then on Sundays on ESPN. And they just, I'm sure they would love to watch us bowl again. And even if it's just the majors, we got to figure out a way to get us a couple events on there.
Jerry Morano runs a PBA 50 tournament up here in Liberty Lanes, Cartersville, and I got to bowl in the PBA 50, and I bowled with Brian Kretzker, Lenny Borsch, Chris Barnes was there, the field, the Traber brothers, they were all there. I mean, it's Carter was there. It was just like, I mean, I got up there going, I don't belong here. I'm just here having fun. I don't belong here. But anyway, it was awesome. It is so fun, and they're going to be here in March. Yes, that is the whole key, guys. Whoever's watching right now, go bowl a PBA Pro-Am, whether it's seniors, kids, doesn't matter. Go bowl with these guys. It is so much fun. It is so cool.
Somebody had to drive through the blizzard to get to the Bradley.
Yeah, they were down there this weekend.
Here's a good one from you, buddy. How many regional titles have you won? And who is your toughest opponent you beat in a regional win?
Man, guys, I know this is going to sound awful. I don't know the exact number of regionals I've got. I'm going to guess. I think it's around 27 or 28. Toughest person I ever beat in a regional. Man, I mean, I bowled the big super regional this past year on the PBA 50 in Bowling Green, Ohio, and it was basically a senior event. I had to beat Brad Angelo in that event.
Wow.
Man, I bowled a lot of good guys on the regional tour. You know, that's a great proving ground for a lot of the people that, you know, want to try PBA events and you know, they're too afraid. They think they're not competitive enough to go out on the national tour or the PBA 50. Regional events are an awesome place for people to get experience. You know, I used to bowl a ton of them.
It definitely puts you in perspective, and you think you're a good house bowler. You go out there and throw some of the stuff they put out, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is tough."
Here you go. Here you go, Deucey. Don't let Deuce sub on your team for league. Might shoot a 780.
Funny story. So Jerry brought it up. I got to tell it. So, wife is out of town. She's gone. I'm calling all the bowling centers around. She's on Friday. So I'm calling all the bowling centers. There's like 100 of them here in Chicago, man. So I'm calling everybody. Hey, you guys got a men's league? They're like, yeah. Do they need subs? I don't know. Just show up. I'm like, I'm not driving 40 miles to go. Just show up. So I got on the USBC website, type it in, look where Jerry Marr's going to bowl. So he's bowling at Suburbanite one night on Fridays. I'm like, cool. I'll go to Suburbanite. Even if I can't bowl, I'm going to know a guy that's bowling. I can watch him bowl, have a couple beers, call it good. So I get there. Mars walks in with his boys. He's like, hey, man, what are you doing here? I'm like, just throwing some balls. He goes, you want to sub? I'm like, heck yeah. He goes, you can sub with me. I'm like, cool. So I shoot my first 700 ever. I shoot like 780. Mars shoots like 800, and Brian Valenda shoots 820, and they're calling me the ringer, the people we bowl with. When you bowl with good people, it makes you better. So it just made me better. But yeah, seriously. So that was a lot of fun that night.
Well, he's got 4 more years, and he's going to bowl the PBA 50 events.
Yes, he will. And he will do very well. Jerry is a solid dude. He will do just fine.
Take your time, Jerry. Take your time. You can stay home for a while.
Don't rush it. Don't rush it quickly.
Go ahead and get your order in now, Jason, because someone's going to be at the PBA 50 Pro-Am in Jackson. So if you want the brownies, you better put the order in now.
Well, Lori, that's the World Series of Bowling. I think we bowl about 200 games that week. Bring them on, because I'll be able to eat them and not put any weight on.
You better start dining now, Jason.
Ever beat Walter Ray in Florida at a tourney? Yes.
That's a good question. Man, I don't know. I'm sure we've had to have bowled for a title somewhere. I would think, man, we bowled a lot of events together. I don't know. I honestly, I wouldn't know if I did. I mean, you know, if it was Parker, I'd let you know what time of day it was, what tournament it was, and I'd make sure he knew about it all the time.
Let's get his number. I'll text him.
You guys want me to put it on the scroll on the bottom? Yeah. Let everybody know they can call him anytime after 2 a.m.
856-5309.
All right, JVB, you gonna say anything tonight? You just gonna?
I mean, I'm just here listening. But Jason, you said earlier you were starting training. What's some of the training that you do to prep yourself for these tournaments? If you can share with us.
Yeah. So the biggest part of your body that you'll struggle the most with as you get older are your legs. Your legs are the first thing that gets tired a lot quicker. So, I mean, I'm actually in my office. I know you guys can see my trophy case behind me, but just to my left from my office chair, I have a Peloton bike that I'll ride every day to strengthen my legs up. This week here, I'll probably get, for the 5 days during the week, I'll probably get 20 to 30 games in. That'll move to 40 games probably by next week. So, I'll be up to probably 7-8 games a day the following week. Conditioning and a lot of stretching. You guys know, man, you get old, you getting out of bed in the morning, everything creaks. So I got to do a lot of stretching and a lot of work on my legs and then a lot of practice after that.
Well,
I'm not there yet. I think I'm
these two young guns down here. They don't know what it's like to be old. These two natural born killers down here.
Jason, I'm kind of going through the same issue. Is that, like you said, you got to stretch, and I got a sciatic nerve issue with a little disc issue. So I've been doing the inversion table. So if you ever have any issues, get you an inversion table because it's legit. It's awesome.
Is that right? Yeah, I've had some sciatica problems the last couple of years. I actually, most people have where the disc slides out. Mine actually slid in. So when it's out of whack, man, I got my chiropractor here in town, and I've never seen a chiropractor until 2 years ago, ever in my life.
Yeah. So
now I've got to see him regularly.
I'm 56, so we're similar, and I'm telling you, the inversion table has definitely made a big difference. And I've been doing it probably about a month and a half now.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't feel too comfortable being hanging upside down with my wife with a bunch of kitchen knives in there.
Is her name Lorena? Lorena is your.
Hey,
Michelle knows Michelle knows she can turn on you in a heartbeat.
No, me. She loves me.
Oh, she does love you.
Who doesn't love Michelle, right? I mean, look, Michelle's the reason why us guys here. You should have came. Listen, go back and watch the first couple of episodes of this debacle.
He ain't going back to watch that.
Oh my God! And then you look when Michelle come on, and then she calls me the next day and she said, "Hey, you guys have really got something good here, but you really need a little structure." So she's like,
You need to get
I'll be
your
more
shit
happy to help
together.
out. And I said, "Well, thanks for volunteering. Now we put her to work. Because of her, she makes us look good." So
Yep, absolutely.
And that's a lot of work, fellas.
it is.
Thanks, Jay.
It
Thanks,
is
Jay.
because we didn't have a guest 2 weeks ago. It was the open recap, and my God, we were all over the place. Man, we'd already had about
It's still fun.
I was
We
at a
already had about
basketball game, so I couldn't talk, and these guys are just free for all over the place.
yeah, it was no structure. I had about 8 or 10. It was
It was
I had
old.
that day at work.
It was old time dog tags.
It's a work.
Yeah, it was old time dog tag.
Hey, that first meeting they had went for 2.5 hours.
This one's gonna go.
Yeah. We had AJ Johnson on it. We went for an hour and 48 minutes with AJ.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Jason before we get going here because we're running on his time. But
Yep,
I know,
absolutely.
I know.
so I'm going to make him feel bad, but hopefully heartwarming at the end. But my 16th birthday present, because I was a huge bowler, by the time I was 16, I was already committed to bowling college. And my 16th birthday, my parents weren't real well off, but my dad made it happen that I got to go to Indy and bowl the Pro-Am. And I got to meet you and Walter Ray and Parker and everybody. So that made my whole world. But for you, what's been your most memorable Pro-Am experience?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Most memorable experience. Well, it's kind of funny when you go back out on tour and you see the younger guys out there, and they'll pull a picture out. Hey, do you remember bowling with me at the Pro-Am? And now they're bowling on tour. Then you go, damn, I'm old, right? So one of the good ones is I mean, you'll know this bowler. I think all of you guys will, but all the years I bowled in Indy, every single year there'd be a kid on my pair, and his name was CJ Albee. And I'm like, why aren't you bowling with your dad? And he's like, I'm like, he's one of the greatest ever. And he's like, he's my dad, dude. So what? I want to bowl with you. And of course, me, I hike up my pants and walk into the locker room, and I'm like, hey, Mike, he wants to bowl with me instead of you. I mean, really? But a funny story, and it deserves to be told on this channel on the dog tags is it wasn't a Pro-Am, but it was a side tournament, and we were in Carolier in New Jersey, and we got to bowl with the wheelchair guys and the American Wheelchair Association, and they put a touring pro with a wheelchair guy, right? And it's my first year bowling, and I'm bowling with this guy, Martin Frost. He had gotten his legs blown off in Vietnam, and we're out there, and I'm nervous, and you don't want to say the wrong thing. And we get out there, very first frame, he right-handed bowler, he slings it out to the right. And I say the same thing whenever someone misses way right, you needed to get back. Get legs! That's what I yell. That's what I yell to the guy in a wheelchair with no legs, right? And Parker looks over at me and goes, "You are an asshole." And he comes wheeling off the approach, His head's down. He looks up at me, and he is laughing so hard, and he goes, "You're my pro till I die if you're that funny." And I'm like, "Oh, man."
That's awesome.
So that's got to be one of my favorite memories of bowling, with the amateur guys. But I mean, just that he ended up passing a few years ago, and he lived out in California. Every single time we bowled out there, he was the first guy behind my pair at every event. He just was an absolute blast. I miss him dearly.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's a great. Yeah, that was going to be one of my follow-up questions. Is after Michelle asked that one, is what made you get pulled from everybody? Everybody wants a piece of Jason Couch. What made you decide that you would do a podcast with Dog Tags Bowling?
Well, I think it was probably the text from Michelle that said, "You're either doing this or I'm kicking your ass when I see you next time." So I think that.
That's
But,
why you love that girl. That's why you love that girl.
If I can, if I can ever support any kind of anything you guys are doing, whether it be for any of the veterans or anything like that, you guys know that I'm a phone call away and would love to do anything to help you guys out. I'm a proud supporter of our services, and I, like I told you guys earlier, I bleed red, white, and blue, man. I love this country. It's the greatest country in the world, and no one can ever tell me any different.
There you
Well, we
go.
greatly appreciate it, brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
I know we pushed for time, but let me throw a couple out here because we've got a lot of people. Just so you know, real quick, you got brownies coming. Make sure you get it before Dino gets it. That's what she said. Our buddy Monty, you met him.
Monty was there.
Monty's good. He's 65 and no health issues, man. So there you go. So let's see. Answer one more, then we're going to ask one question. We're going to get you out of here. That may be a tough one. Can you see that?
I can see it. I tell you, Greg, how many titles will Janowitz and Lint win this year? John Janowitz is probably one of the hardest workers I know. He works for Kegel. He taught me a lot about lane patterns. The guy knows every part about the game, the bowling balls, the lanes. I mean, he's top notch. I can see John winning a few titles every single year. I'm wishing the best for both of them. I just spoke to Troy last night. I had no idea that Troy had knee surgery. He had a scope of his knee a couple weeks ago. Didn't know. And he had mentioned something about it, and I just popped out, reached out to him last night and said, what's going on? He said he had a scope, cleaned everything up, and he was already back bowling. So he'll be healthy this year, 100%. So, you never know. I mean, with the confidence he got from last year, and he's a great bowler, I can see him winning some more this year. So, it's fun to watch. It's not fun to lose to him, but it's fun to watch.
He's solid.
Well, Jason, we appreciate your time. We try to keep it around 35 minutes because we know you guys' time is valuable. But man, this has been a great show. Had a lot of questions still coming in. So, but just thanks for coming on and being a part with us, man. We certainly do appreciate it.
Guys, if you want me back anytime, just give me a little heads up, and I'd love to hang out with you guys. Next time we're together, we'll head out to dinner, maybe head out to the truck a few times.
Well, this one right here, it's always opposite. This is the lady here
it's weird.
Yeah,
yeah. We normally run out the truck. So, but Jason, I was talking to you earlier. So big time veteran. So I was in the Honor Guard out in DC. While I was there, they were filming a movie called Gardens of Stone. Starred James Caan, D.B. Sweeney, James Earl Jones, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Blah blah blah. But anyhow, in the movie, there is a toast, and this is how we send our guests off. Here's to us and those like us. Damn few. Damn few. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We will definitely have you on again.
We will get you on again, Jason. Absolutely. We will definitely get you on. We'll talk about some more stuff, and we'll talk behind the scenes and figure out where you're going to be, and we will all try and come see you again. I know that Gary and Jason are trying to go to – you guys are going to try to go to – you're going to Pennsylvania, right?
Well, we're going to Pennsylvania, definitely. We're going to try to sneak up to Anderson this weekend if Jason doesn't have to answer Uncle Sam's phone call. So
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
But we'll get some more stuff in place, and then we're going to try and do some Dog Tags bowling tournaments, and we'll get some things together.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good, fellas.
Thanks,
Hey,
Jason.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, take care.
Jason,
Appreciate it,
see
buddy.
Yes.
Thank you, Jason.
Wow. And
Hall
the
of
questions,
Fame, baby, Hall of
the-
Fame.
the questions still keep coming in.
It's
You know.
growing. It's growing like crazy. It's
Yeah.
it's
We
it's
didn't even
pretty
get to
big.
the Hall of Fame. We didn't get to what he does off the lanes. We're going to have for permission for maybe another 5 minutes or something. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I think we got to keep it where it's at. I think it's good timing. Just bring them back. We know
Yeah.
we know questions we didn't ask before. It's always
Yeah.
easier to do it the second time around. We don't have to rehash stuff we did. We can get them back on to do new stuff. I think that's
Yeah.
fine.
And
Well,
I
that's what we
keep notes for you. It's fine.
What's
I
that?
got it.
Do what?
I keep notes for you.
We're getting better, are we not?
You are. I'm so proud.
Me
of you
too.
guys.
I keep notes, Michelle. I keep notes on how good this wine smells.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to do on the next show. Okay, this is what I'm going to do on the next show. This is how
Are we
you're going
still
to speak.
live? Are we still live?
Yes, we're still live. So
Yes, we are.
before we go,
Yes, we
before we
are.
leave, this is me on the next show.
You just
I
gonna
highly
shut up?
doubt that. I
I highly doubt that too.
Well,
Yeah.
you can be if you
I
want
love,
to,
hey, I love these two guys, but you can't. I mean, you got one with his arms crossed, and the other one's and like JB.
I don't-
Say something.
I don't know
Well, I
what
just
you want
listen,
me to
man.
do.
I just listen.
All
look.
right,
You
so
guys
listen.
need to take a trip to the truck, stay at the truck for an hour, and then come on to the show and loosen up a little bit. How about that?
Well, here's
That's
the thing.
that's true.
Hey, young bucks. I love you like brothers. I love you both like brothers.
Hey,
But I'm
Night night.
telling
I
you,
love you.
I'm telling you, just jump in. You got to get in the deep end of the pool and start treading water. Just jump in the
There's
pool.
a lot of conversation to jump into.
All you
so
got
I-
to time out, man. I got a question.
Okay.
Just,
That's,
Okay.
okay, that's it. From now on, it's like, all right, stop. I have a question.
or you go like this. Lucy, shut the fuck up.
Hey, teacher, call on me.
Yeah, hey.
Me.
Back in the day, it was like this, right? Is that right?
All right, so we're gonna get out of here. Before we go, we want to.
I got to say a couple things. Got to say a couple things before we leave.
Sure,
Thank
and
you,
then,
Greg
then we'll
Wright.
thank the sponsors. Go ahead.
Thank you, Greg Wright. Thank you, Jerry Mars. Thank you, Monty Skeels. Thank you, all the guys that are watching this podcast.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Share it with your peeps. Tell them to subscribe. I talked to all the people I bowled with on it at the 700 Club. Just subscribe. You don't have to watch it. Just subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's build it up. Let's get some more. This is a 501c3 organization. It all goes to the veterans. We are not
Right.
making money on this. We are not buying $4 bottles of wine with this money. We are dedicating it back to the veterans.
Exactly.
100% a charitable organization, and we enjoy what we do. That's all it is.
And Greg wanted to say thank you, Jason. You rock.
He does. Absolutely.
And may God bless Jason, Chris, all that are serving. Very good, because those guys are still at it every day.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Jerry Mars wanted to say Michelle's the best. Got to
Dang
keep
right
guys-
she is.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yes, she is. For sure.
Monty. Monty, you
Oh,
need me
Monty.
on the show.
All
I'll
right, all
talk.
right. Hey, so next week, Monty's going to sit right next to me. He'll be right on my couch.
Well, if he's not sitting with you, we'll put him down here.
We can do that. I think it'd be better than
True.
my house.
Bring him to the house. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get Monty
Man
on there.
cave.
He'll talk.
Bring
Monty
the
will
man
talk.
cave.
Exactly.
You
All right,
guys
so-
remember who we have next week?
What's
Say
that?
again.
Do you remember who we have next week?
That's for you. I'm
You
sorry.
kept it on the DL. You haven't
No,
even.
I
Yeah.
didn't. You know this one.
Oh, yes, we do know this one.
Yes, you do know this one.
We do this. Are we letting the cat out of the bag? Or are we going to?
Well, of course, you can let the cat out of the
Well,
bag.
you let the cat out of the bag and
Go
tell
right
who's
ahead.
coming on next week.
Mr. Kirk Von Kruger and potentially his wife,
Yes.
22-year PBA tournament director.
Absolutely, that would be
Yeah.
awesome. We could. So it was so funny because I came into World Series of Bowling a couple years ago, and there's a huge fifth wheel parked out in the parking lot. I'm like, the next year I'm bringing my motor home because that's cool. And so yeah, Kurt and his wife have traveled all over the country in
Right.
that fifth wheel and stayed at parking lots of bowling centers.
Yeah,
But
and
you
they
know
are
what?
retired military as well. So
Former
that was
military.
pretty cool.
No, they are
Oh,
Navy. Navy.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Ah,
Navy.
my
That's
daughter-
just what we need. more semen around here. Oh, my mic's still on.
Oh my God, Michelle. Okay, so listen, Jason. Part of your new description is you gotta take this cat under your wing, man. I do not want to be sued.
He's grounded.
Grounded. There you go. Yeah, he's young enough. He can be grounded.
Oh my God.
I mean,
All right,
somebody had to say it.
Hey, you can't.
what
I
was-
can't fault the guy. He's correct. I don't even know nothing. Hua.
Jerry,
There ain't no
here,
who
oh,
in
here
the
you go.
There ain't no who
Make
in
this
the name.
announcement too.
Whoops.
Wait a minute, here it is.
Oh, shit.
Jerry wants to
That's
come
how
on
we'll
when
get
Joel
Mars in
comes
here.
on.
Mars can sit next to me.
Oh,
and
man.
Monty could be at his house, and then we just do it right here. We do a three-peat
Right.
from right here.
I-
You got room?
When you
And I have a date for Joel.
You what now?
You
I have a date for Joel.
So
Yeah.
Jerry and Joel are really, really good friends, and this is how we got to be buddies with Joel. So
Right.
I
Nice.
came in. We were at Indy, and I walked into Timmy Mac's Pro Shop, and I'm like, "Hey, I know you. You're buddies with Jerry." And he's like, "Yeah, I know Jerry really well." I'm like, "Cool, let's take a picture." So he said, "No. Let's take a video and we'll send it to Jerry." So we did that at Indy, and then it went boom because
Nice.
Joel's super cool.
Yeah.
Um,
he's cool.
Jerry, Joel, you know, Michelle. You want laughs? We got some stories. Exactly. The community is really small.
But it's so big at the same time. Like
It-
it's crazy
yeah,
how the
it's-
bowling
it's-
community is
It's
intertwined.
nationwide, but it's pretty tight.
All right, so we're going to get out of here. A couple of things. Number one, as always, subscribe, like, share, comment. Let everybody know what we're doing.
Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok,
We're trying to build the TikTok
YouTube,
up too. So
StreamYard,
yeah,
all over the place.
so
And like I said, we're not trying to make money for us. It's got nothing to do with these people on the screen. It is to just keep it going, get more people bowling. Let us send the money to veterans. Let us help local organizations. I know Gary's doing stuff where he's at. I'm doing stuff where I'm at. Everybody's going to do their own little local thing. Chris is going to
Right.
do stuff here. JVB's doing his stuff down there. Let's just get it together.
right. Thank you to our sponsors
Oh,
and our new
yes.
sponsor,
H5G. Thanks, Cassie.
H5G. Look at there.
Thanks, Cassie. Thanks, Lee and
Polar
Sandra.
X, number one for
Polar X.
customer service.
Absolutely.
Number one for customer service, right there. There you go. So
And if anybody goes to polarx.com, you can use our discount code dog tag. Some restrictions, it's dog tag. Some restrictions do apply, but we do have that coupon code out there for you.
And we got a
Nice.
coupon code for Eileen's Bowling Buddy. It's Dog Tags 10 or what is it, DTB 10. She'll honor either one. And then we're going to do something with H5G, correct?
Yeah, so H5G, we have, they are now our official jersey sponsor partnership, official jersey partnership. We are creating a line of merchandise and clothing that will have its corresponding link on H5G Brand's website. And from those sales, a portion of the sales from that merchandise will go right back into dog tags to support our military vets and
Exactly.
active duty and help us support making these tournaments happen and hopefully raising some big money for everybody that needs it.
And we got
Yep,
a lot of big things coming up in the
A
future as
lot
well.
of big things coming.
And that's what
Lot
we're
of
going to
big
be
things
talking about later on, and we're going to be announcing later. And another thing that we tried this weekend and went over pretty good, we're going to do it a little quicker, is we're on Spotify. So we're going to do an audio podcast. It lasts about 15, 17 minutes. And we're going to talk about this week's show and then what's happening next week. This weekend, I'm going to have one of these cats come on. I had Michelle last weekend. And so get one of these guys down here that hopefully we're in Anderson, Indiana, and we can do it from there. So
That'd be awesome. Yeah, you guys should try to do that. Get a guy off the side and talk to them for a little bit. Do
right,
a little quick one.
and follow us on like I said, like us and subscribe to us on Spotify. We're working in the process of getting this transposed into Spotify as well. So hang tight. We can have the audio version of this on Spotify too. So With that being said, as always, may the good Lord bless our brothers and sisters both home and abroad. Keep them safe.
Keep these two young bucks down here on the bottom safe. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are still doing your thing.
Yeah. You want to say something? What is this, Quack? What is this?
That's Quack.
That stands for Chris with a K.
Okay.
Chris with a K.
Chris with a K.
My wife
Because when I was younger, every time that I would like tell my name, I would have to tell them it's spelled Chris with a K. So that they didn't always spell it with a C.
K, so you're like my wife.
Wow.
Listen, my aunt's name is Christy with a K too. And that's who I was named after.
Hey, and Christopher Prather is.
Thanks, my wife's laughing now.
Christopher
I like your wife.
Prather is.
Yeah, Christopher.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I'm older than Chris Prather, so there's that.
Hey,
Yeah.
we'll get you a chance to bowl with him. We'll make that happen.
Yeah. All right,
I'm good with
JBB,
it. I'm good with it.
you gonna say
He
your
can be
goodbyes?
Quack too.
Quack, you gonna say your goodbyes?
What? No, I'm good.
You're not gonna say your goodbyes?
Peace out.
Bye.
Man with few words carries big stick.
These are the guys that stands on the wall and stands tall, right? So
Yeah.
I don't have to talk about it like a bee.
We don't need to talk to anyone.
I don't need to talk about it. I'll just be about it.
this
Yeah.
this is the muscle right here of dog tags bowling. You know, I'll say this. I mean, I'm hitting everybody out before we go to the meeting. But here's the thing: I saw an old one of an old video of Ric Flair, and he says, "This is what he says: Get the camera on what is actually happening here today. This is it right here." So there you go. All right, listen. Thank you again for Jason Couch coming on. Thank you again to all of our sponsors. Thank you for everybody that chimed in. We still got questions coming in, so I'm going to have to screenshot them and give them to Michelle so we can use them next time.
Yes.
And look for us. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be in Anderson. And if not, any tournament we're at, any event, come up, say hi to us, get a picture. We're going to be having some special gifts, special items for people to come up and say, hey, you guys with dog tags, take a picture, and you're going to get some free DTB stuff. So
Wow.
yeah, some
Swag,
swag.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the other thing, exactly what Jason Couch said earlier. Listen, if you got a PBA regional tournament in your area, go bowl the Pro-Am. Go bowl the Pro-Am in the PBA 50. Go hang out with these guys. That's how I met them. I didn't know Gary before all this. I didn't know Jason. I didn't know none of these people until I went and did the Pro-Am. Once you're in the Pro-Am, you get hooked. Go do it. Just go do it.
Exactly. All right. You guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Tuesday night with the Von Krugers coming on. Navy, U.S.
7
Navy.
p.m.
Finally, the numbers will start to even out a little bit here. So I need a little help. I'll have to call in the Marines if I don't,
I'm keeping my mouth shut this time.
All right, you guys be safe. Have a great week. Look for us. Watch us. We're all around. And comment, message. We got some good things coming down the pipe. I want you to be a part. So with that, you guys be safe, and we'll talk to you next week. All right?
Hello.